Uh, we just beat a really good team. Idaho is really, really well coached. They have a star player. I thought our defense on Sanders was I don't use the word much, but it was remarkable how it was a team effort. Cody was assigned to him most of the game. Lindsey had him for some stretches, but we didn't play very well offensively at all tonight. And you know, to score 88 points, I thought we did a great job taking care of the basketball in the second half. I think we only had 2 turnovers, and defensively the 30 deflections. And then once again getting back to Sanders to hold him to no made threes. Just can't talk about, you know, the defensive effort that the team put forth, and then to cause him 5 turnovers. That was a game plan. I mean, you know, a lot of times when you play against a really good player, you have to make a decision. You know, are you going to shut that guy down, or are you going to, you know, and let the other guys beat you, or how are you going to do it? And our thought process is we did not want him to get one open look, and some of their other guys had some good games. Blake played really good for him. But I was really proud of our guys, especially having 3 players in the first half with 2 fouls, because our rule is that you sit, and 2 of the guys are you know, Lindsey and Jordan that have been here, and from a continuity standpoint, that scared us. But I thought both Martins played a phenomenal game. Yeah, hopefully all of our players don't want to go through preparation like Caleb has, because he hasn't practiced. And he tried to practice on Monday, went about 70% of it. Foot was really bothering him. Tried to go Tuesday, and, you know, he hasn't done anything. He didn't even do anything today in shoot around. But he came in, and I thought he let the game come to him. And obviously his 3-ball in that stretch in the first half saved us and got us a cushion. And you know, both those guys are great players. And Cody's defense, I mean, you know, with him and Lindsey out there, we're just so long at the guard spot. Probably the thing that we just talked about it with our team that we're most happy with since I've been here. I don't think I've seen a locker room that happy. And we had some guys not play in the second half. Hallis did a good job in the first half, didn't get back in the second half. I haven't seen chemistry since I've been here like we just had, and I know it's only game 1. But a really, really unselfish group that just wants to win, and they're in there talking about Rhode Island. That's, you know, they're really not talking about Idaho anymore. When did you know Caleb was going to play? Was that like a game time? Yeah, I mean, I was sitting there when I was getting dressed tonight asking Mariah, my daughter, if I should put Hallis in or Caleb in the rotation. I guess she answered it right. Oh, she told you to play. Yeah. Okay. What made you want to put Cody on Sanders? I know, obviously, Sanders is a taller kind of guard. Cody had pretty good length. Well, with Sanders playing the off guard, we wanted Lindsey to hound the point guard, and I think that, you know, during the course of our season, we'll have those guys flip spots, and then we ended up just switching everything when we played without a center. So, you know, again, I thought defensively we were really, really good tonight.
I mean, is that a good way to open the season? I mean, when your shot really isn't falling at times, and to go out and win games through defense and turnovers, and you know, I think that's what every coach wants their back line to be, is defense relying on everything.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to play a lot better than we did tonight, for sure. We'll play a lot better offensively. The ball will move better. We have a lot of new faces, you know, and it's not the NBA where you got 6 exhibition games and then you start to get in the flow of things. I mean, 3 exhibition games this year, but we're better tonight than we were last year the first night, regardless of opponent. So we'll keep getting better, and we're playing a veteran team on Monday. Our crowd was, I mean, from every graduate assistant to every assistant coach. We got a lot of new faces. The crowd was remarkable. You know, we didn't know, you know, normally conference play comes and you see a crowd like that, and we need everybody back on Monday. Student section that's as good a student section as I've seen since I've been here other than the UNLV games. We were kind of blown away, and everybody in our locker room really appreciates that support.
A couple weeks ago, you mentioned you weren't pleased with the defense. Where's the turnaround for 2 weeks?
I think that we had some pretty hard practices, and they were long. We've had a very extended preparation, and they did a great job. Even Coach Jones today, he halfway through our shoot around, he came and said, "Do we always go this hard in shoot around?" And I said, "No, we usually go harder because today we didn't go live." So, it's a competitive group, and I thought we played really good against Dominican, and we didn't play very good in the second half of the Stanislaus game.
What do you think the team was so happy about after this game? First game of the year, long way to go. What brought that out?
I think, Joe, just the chemistry. I don't think that they were happy as in satisfied that we accomplished anything. I think that we understand we have a huge game against a great team that's a top 25, top 20 caliber team, and they know it's a really big challenge, and we had really good respect for Idaho. When I say really happy, I guess the word, they were happy for each other, and they were a collective group, and nobody was sulking, and nobody was pouting, and nobody was worrying about how many shots they got. And quite frankly, that happens. It happens in football if you don't get enough passes thrown to you, or if you're a running back, you don't get enough. Happens in baseball if you don't, get enough at bats, and I just thought that, the chemistry was great because we had some guys that could have sulked a little bit and they didn't. You guys are more than welcome to come tomorrow. We go at 11. We'd love to have everybody out. You come Sunday. We'll probably be going Sunday too. I haven't really studied them. I know E.C. Matthews is one of the best players in the country. They're going to play 4 guards at a time. I do know tonight first play of the game, they went inside to their center, and then they went with 4 guards about 4.5 minutes later. So I guess I know a little bit about them because I was watching that pregame tonight. But they're really good. They're so deep, and a lot of great guard play and some really, really physical players.
Does this team have the potential to be even better defensively than you more fundamentally sound?
We feel like we have the potential to be a better team, not just defensively, but we also have a way harder schedule. So, it'll be how unselfish are we, and tonight, 21 assists, really, really good numbers. But I think we could have had more. Tomorrow when we get together, we're going to talk about sharing the ball a little bit more, and we'll run offensive sets to get our scores the ball, but they have to trust that those play calls are coming. And I think they will. You mentioned 2 guys that had career nights in Cody and Caleb, and we're going to get guys shots. They just, we just got to move the ball a little bit. I thought Josh took a couple quick shots that is, and it's because he's played so well in the exhibition games. And so Josh and Kendall have been on fire, and they kind of had to take a back seat tonight. And that's what really good teams, they have multiple people that can score and have big games, and you have to accept that when it happens.
How about those last 4 or 5 minutes of the first half when Cody and Caleb just kind of took over the game and took over the team, just ran things?
Yeah, it's you need a guy that can just manufacture his own shot, and Caleb can do that, and Cody can too. I think that both of them are great basketball players. They're different players, but I thought the alley-oop was phenomenal, and that's just those 2 guys playing a long time and reading each other. I'd love to say that it was a play call from the bench, but we had nothing to do with those 2 guys getting hot.
Any more questions? Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Jack, you're always trying to run me off.
Questions for Lindsay? Lindsay gets a 24-point win to start the season. How good does it feel?
feels good, getting back into the flow from last year. We got a lot of new guys. Idaho's a good team. We got a lot of preparation coming into the game, and it feels good, getting the win.
Do you feel this team has real good chemistry, maybe even better than last year?
Yeah, we have really good chemistry right now, yeah, for sure. A lot of new guys. Coach mentioned that the locker room everybody was celebrating, everybody felt good. I think part of the reason is just because, with the new guys, they had to sit out last year, and they had to, see what we did last year. But now them being here, they can be part of this journey now. So it feels good.
Kind of slow and disjointed at times in the first half. Was that more because without so many guys with 2 fouls sitting on the bench, or was it just maybe first game nerves?
You're talking about like the first half in general. Yeah, well, me personally, I played 4 minutes in the first half, I think. But yeah, part of first game nerves too. I think every team coming college basketball, first game isn't always the prettiest, but with our crowd behind us, and us just trusting the coach and each other, we were able to get the W.
Did you come out a little bit more aggressive on offense, just having to sit so much in that first half? When you came out in the second half, it seemed like you were able to get to the basket and were maybe a little bit more assertive.
Yeah, second half or the first half, I didn't play a lot. So second half wanted start off assertive myself. Getting back into the rhythm of the game and get myself going.
How would you describe the impact those two had on the game?
Well, it's just the impact they have on our team in general. They're so versatile, both of them. Cody played 1 through 4. They both play both ends, defense and offense. Caleb, he's starting to get back into his rhythm, starting to get his rhythm back. So having both those guys, two of the same dudes, it feels like they have that the twin connection. Something that nobody else knows but them. So they're able to use it to their advantage.
Anything you weren't really happy with from tonight's game?
Did they end up rebounding us? Yeah. One thing Coach has been pressing us all, even through the exhibition games, is rebounding. We go small ball sometimes, but that's still not an excuse. We can't have teams out rebounding us. That's something that we didn't have to really worry about last year. So we're gonna have to get on that bandwagon.
This team seems a lot more physical, but play tougher. It seems like out there. Do you sense that, or is that just how this kind of game? You guys are knocking guys down.
Yeah, definitely. That just comes part of us playing 4 guards at times. Moving Jordan to the 5 and then putting one of the twins at the 4. So that's something that we have to do. We got to be physical with whoever we're playing, just because some guys are taller than us.
Any more questions for Lindy? Questions for Caleb? Coach said you consulted Mariah to see if you were going to play tonight and be in the rotation. When did you know you were going to play in this game?
I was talking to Coach yesterday about it. I just been wearing the boot to keep pressure off my foot, and basically we talked yesterday, and I told him if he needs me or if he feels like he needs to throw me in the game, I'm there, I'm ready. So I told him just act like I'm not hurt, and just whenever he feels the need, just put me in there. But I think ultimately that he's going to see how the game went and started off to whether he's going to choose to put me in or not. And I think he felt early that he's needed to put me in, I guess. So.
Maybe that slow start got you into the game, but if you guys get off to a good start, you don't need to do more than that?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's what I was thinking. But who knows? At the same time, I know my coach is big on rhythm for me right now, since I've been in and out of the boot and been hurt and hasn't really got like too much into a rhythm right now. So I think he was going to try to put me in regardless, at least to get my feet wet.
I've not played basketball game in a year and a half, and to go out there and put your brother both you guys play well. You guys kind of got to be going on top 9 right now, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like you said, like sitting out a whole year and a half, and then being able to come in to a game like this, playing a good team and playing in front of a crowd like that who's eager to, see what the next step is from last year is, I mean, you can't really ask much more for that, especially sitting out and get to see that and then just getting to walk into an environment like that. It's awesome.
Looking forward to the next game, you still feel like you're game to game?
Say it again.
Looking forward to Monday's game, you still feel that you're going to be under restriction?
Just pretty much like this game. I mean, I'm sure I'll probably still be in the boot. I'm gonna get a lot of rehab, and I'm gonna see, depending on if my trainer wants me to go and practice or not tomorrow. That'll be his decision because he's the expert. So whatever he says, I just do. But yeah, like you said, probably just a little bit game to game. But like I said before, probably like this game, if he feels like he needs to put me in, and I'm always gonna be ready. I'm gonna just tell him to play me like I'm not hurt. So whether I start or whether I come out the bench, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be ready.
You tied your career high in 13 minutes in the first half. I mean, how much more offensive freedom do you feel playing in this offense than the offense you're playing at?
Man, it's crazy. I remember, I think Jordan was on the line, and I was at the top of the key, and Lindsey talking to him. I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, just being able to play how free, and then, like, I feel like I have no restrictions. I can just be myself, play like myself. Coach looks at me to make plays, looks at Jordan, looks at Cody to make plays. I mean that's all you can ask for as a college player, to come in with a great coach and a great team with no restrictions. Like, you can't really add that. I mean, that's really all you can ask for. So I was talking to Lindsey at the top of the key, just like, man, I was like, man, I love playing with y'all. It's the first game. I was like, man, this feels good. He's like, yeah, we just getting started.
Was it a little more regimented than at NC State? I mean, in terms of what you did?
Yeah, I mean, just like on every team, you have a couple players who, kind of have like the green light, and then you got the other players who kind of play their role. I mean, which is fine. Like, at my old school, I didn't mind. I knew I was a role guy. We had Cat Barber at the time, and, he was 23-5-5 in the ACC. Like, he's, first team. Like, we had so many good players, Malik and, BJ and, like, Terry, who got hurt. We had so many good players, and on a team like that and on a stage like that, some players got to know their role. And with me, I knew my role, and I accepted my role, and I was fine with that. Obviously, every player feels like they can do probably a little bit more, and I just felt by leaving I was going to be able to, be able to do that and show probably a little bit more of my skills and just play a little bit more free. But, man, I have nothing against my last coach or the school or anything like that. I just knew my role there, and I know my role here. So.
What about that LU? How did that come about? You guys just kind of glance at each other?
Yeah. Man, that was just from when we were little. Like, I kind of look at Cody. It's kind of hand placement too. If I don't want to give all my secrets out, if somebody's reading or watching this, but yeah, it's kind of. I'm gonna just say it's kind of a glance. I look at Cody. Cody's got it. Whether I'm mad, I just kind of open my eyes a little bit wider and go back door. Because a lot of times I don't like to do it like every time. I like to hit people when they're not expecting it. So yes, a lot of times if I want to catch on the wing, I'll just put my arm in front of them and just like here. I won't do too much looking at them. And then sometimes I'll like look at them like, hey Cody, and I'll yell it more like Cody. And then I'll go back door. So.
Was that the first half or the second half in your top knowing?
I think that was the second half.
How much fun was that? Ended that first half when you guys were kind of running?
Man, it's fun. I like getting to play on the floor with your brother, twin brother. Getting to see him play free, and I get to play free and playing with like unselfish guys like like Lindsey and great teammates like Josh and Kendall. Like, you just saw Josh and Kendall go for 30. Like, they had 30, I think, the last two games. And then they come in here, and Josh gets, 4 points, and Kendall gets 7 points. And then they're just as happy like they scored 35 the last time. I mean, that's just good teammates. I mean, like you said, I think you asked Coach why we were so happy I think we accomplished something or anything like that. It's not that. It's just, we're just all brothers. That's like if you went to go see your brother play, you're sitting on the bench, you're on the same team as him, you're just going to be just as happy if he scored 35 or 20 or, had a great game just as much as you did. I mean, we're just like that. That's just how the chemistry is. We just love to see each other do well.
Any more questions?
Oh, shit.
Anything I asked your twin? I mean, just a year and a half off, getting to play with your brother, get a win. How good does that feel?
It feels really good, and I think one of the biggest reasons it feels really good is because all the work that we put in and how much time and effort our coaches and staff and players have put in while we're sitting out. And And I think this the biggest thing is that he has a lot of trust in us, and we have a lot of trust in him too. So it's just really fun to be able to go out there and play and feel free while you're playing at the same time.
How much pride do you guys take in forcing turnovers? Like that first half was like one possession or after another.
Right. That's one thing that Coach stresses, and a big thing for us is getting a lot of deflections, and he believes us getting a lot of deflections obviously lead to turnovers and leads to us getting transition buckets. And that's one thing that we thrive in because our team has a lot of length. And so I think he does a great job of emphasizing that. And at first, like, he was stressing it so much that it's almost like, dang, Coach, like, you get on my nerves about it. But then you get in the game and that happens, you're like, you have no choice but to believe him, you know. Not saying that we didn't believe him in the first place, but it's just nice for him to emphasize it and then to see it take place. So.
You guys seem to be picking up people more, maybe closer to 6 feet than
Right.
I saw last year. Is that just the more athleticism on this year's team?
I think it's a combination of could be a little bit more athleticism and just a little bit more pride. Like, I think that we take a lot of pride in defense, and not saying that our last team didn't, but I think that our coach, I think that we just have we're just deeper and have a lot more trust in our teammates to pick up full court, and then if you get tired, to trust the next person to come in and there's no drop off. And like another thing is just creating deflections and just letting teams know that we're in the building, that we're picking them up full court and letting them know that we're here. Not necessarily trying to force turnovers every single time we're on them, but just letting them know that we're there. So.
Having not played in over a year, first game really with this team and this coach.
Right.
Did you guys have any rust tonight that kind of had you knocked off? You guys hit the floor running?
I think most of the rust is just nervousness, and I think that but as soon as the ball gets tipped, all the nervousness goes away. I think it's just preparing for the game and before the game, but really no rust. I think the biggest thing that helps us knock the rust off is just believing in each other and playing hard and playing unselfish and getting everybody involved, because I think the biggest thing for us is nobody's really worried about not getting the ball, not being involved, and like, again, everybody knows their role, so everybody knows they're going to be able to play and know what they're bringing to the table. So.
Being here and practicing all year, it probably really didn't feel like your first game, right?
Right.
You've been part of this program.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is the going to Costa Rica to play, and then having the exhibition games really helped out, especially being able to play in front of a crowd. And I think that was the biggest thing, is not sitting out for a year. You don't play anything live in front of people besides like pickup and stuff, but it's not really the same. But I think that's the biggest thing, and that's what helped us made a transition to playing. Even though we've played before, sitting out a whole year just feels completely different when you finally step on that court. But having teammates and coaches like this, it kind of helps you brush that off anyways.
What was your approach with Sanders? He's obviously a very good player.
I think my approach was, my coach was just challenging me, and I was challenging myself. We knew that he was a great offensive player, and he could create for his team, and a lot of the plays go through him. And I think the biggest thing is I wanted to challenge myself, knowing that he was a good offensive threat. And the biggest thing that helped me out was the preparation. And I don't think there's anybody in the country that prepares better than we do. And he helped me out a lot in terms of film, in terms of like just telling me detail-wise on what he does, what he likes to do, and things like that. And then when you get in the game, you just know everything. Like, obviously we had a couple defensive breakdowns, but that's just going to happen when everything's going 100 miles per hour. But I had my teammates helping me the entire time. So.
Did you have any doubt that Caleb was going to play, or just knowing him?
Nah, he's tough. I know he was going to play, and I know that he wasn't going to set out, especially his first game. I think that he was just trying to feel it out and going to see how it felt, but he's hard-headed. He was going to play anyways. I knew he was going to play anyway, so.
Any more questions? Thank you.
Thank y'all. This might be Lindsay. Oh, I'm sorry.